This is the third tutorial video. At this point, we have our RNA box filled in, our first piece of evidence and explanation, our second piece of evidence and our explanation. Now we're ready for our third piece of evidence. If you've been following along, we've already had evidence from pandas and endangered species, and we've used evidence from pandas. So I've got it covered that we've used both articles. So my third piece of evidence could be from either of them. I'm going to choose to pick my evidence from the short article, Pandas. Again, I'm looking for something to support why the population might be decreasing or getting smaller. When I reread this short article, I see this sentence here: the rampant destruction of the panda's habitat has endangered this creature. I like that evidence because right away it's telling us that the destruction of the habitat is one of the reasons why pandas are endangered. So that seems like it's some pretty strong evidence to use. I'm going to copy that down in my cite evidence box number 3. Again, I'm going to start with a sentence starter that tells my reader I'm going to copy some text. In the text, pandas, here's my article name, in the text pandas, it says, and I copied my quote. Quote, the rampant destruction of the panda's habitat has endangered this creature, end quote. Go ahead, copy that down and pause the video. All right, and I'm ready for my third explanation. Again, I'm not going to repeat what this says. I'm not going to give more evidence from the article. I'm going to explain how does this prove that the panda population is decreasing. I'm going to start with my sentence starter. This proves that the panda population is decreasing, and I need to explain it more. Because humans are forcing pandas out of their homes and away from their food supply. So my explanation tells why this is leading to them being endangered. They no longer have homes, and they no longer have the food that they need to eat. Those are two basic needs that all living creatures need: shelter and food. Those two things are missing, so that's leading them to being endangered. Go ahead, pause the video, copy that down, and we'll do our sum it up box last. All right, so the last step for filling out your graphic organizer is the sum it up box, or the summarization box. When you do this box, you want to restate your main point, which is your topic sentence. You can look back up here and pretty much just say the same thing again. Sometimes you might want to do it in different words, but depending on what you're writing, you might repeat the same thing. And it's a good idea to repeat your 3 main points if you can. I'll show you what I did. A very simple way, if you were not going to repeat, would just be to say your topic sentence again in a different way. I am going to repeat my main points. So sum it up. Overall, what did I say? I said the panda population is decreasing. That's answering the question. Due to not reproducing quickly, food shortages, and destruction of their habitat. So for my sum it up, I answered the question and said, here are my 3 main points that I used to answer the TDA question. Go ahead and pause the video to copy that down, and then move on to the final instructions. Now that you have your graphic organizer filled out, you have the hard part done. Getting all of that filled out is really the most work. Next, you just need to take it and write it out in an essay format. You can do this in a variety of ways. Some of my students like to do it so this is one big paragraph. Some of them like to split it up so you've got an introduction and then turn these into separate paragraphs and then a conclusion. What the most important thing is that you need to do is make sure you do it in the right order. So get in the habit now of numbering your boxes if you ever get confused by that. This is going to be number 1. You'll write that first, copy it first. Then your evidence, number 1 will actually be your second sentence. This will be your third sentence. 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. If you've done this correctly and it's good, all you need to do is copy it over. Don't change a thing. If you forgot a sentence starter, when you copy it over would be a time to add it in. You also want to double check. For this particular one, you needed to use evidence from both articles. We did that. This one and this one, and then this one was a repeat, so that was fine. So at this point, you're ready just to take this, copy it over in the right order, just like you'd read, top to bottom and left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just like hopscotch. Give yourself a pat on the back. You did a great job filling out your TDA organizer for 2 articles.